You can introduce the episode, so.
I do?
Yeah, go ahead. I do it all the time.
That's because it's your show.
Yeah, I'm bored. You're like the co-host of this wrestling thing. Just introduce the show.
Way to jump it on me. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Wasting Your Time podcast with John Wilson and me, Roberto Duke. We're taking on the challenge of reviewing or doing our predictions of Fastlane that's coming up on Sunday. We're going to do a little bit of talking on what's going on with WWE, AEW, all the stuff that's going on in wrestling right now. So you know me, I'm Roberto Bobby Duke. On the other side of me is John Wilson. John, say hi.
Hey, good to be back again. Do some housekeeping first. As always, the Wasting Your Time podcast is on Spotify and Google Podcasts. So just type in Wasting Your Time into the search, and you will find us. All our episodes are up and running. And yeah, if you're listening to this is one of 2 episodes being released on the exact same day. So go and check out our Fierce, Fabulous, Fictional Females edition in celebration of International Women's Day. So once you've done this, go and listen to that. Allie and Amanda took over the show, and I just sat there and listened for about an hour.
Nice.
So, yeah, so go listen to that, because literally 2 episodes one day.
Did anybody get pegged?
You know, there was a lot less dick jokes than usual. But let's jump right into this. Because,
yeah, a lot of stuff happened over the last time we talked.
It's weird, because, like, there was that week where, like, a lot of stuff happened. Like, we should do this every week.
Because we can get away with it. Because there's so much crap that goes on.
We can. Maybe we'll try that around summertime or something. Because
I'm very happy with once a month.
Yeah. Let's jump right into it. Clearly, I was going to start off with a different topic, but clearly there's no bigger topic than what happened last week. Roman Reigns is back. He is in remission. And I cut it out of the last episode, and we spent a good 10 minutes talking about Roman Reigns and his absence. But he is back full time now. Personally, I thought they should have saved this till probably after WrestleMania. I know why they did it. It's heading into WrestleMania. They need all hands on deck. But I thought they should have did it after WrestleMania.
Yep, I'm on the same boat. I think that would have been a great moment to have. It would have put more of a spotlight on Seth Rollins, on his thing. But again, we all know why they did it. It makes sense. But, just as creative-wise, it would have been made more sense to hold off on it. Made a big, not even like just announce it, just like night after WrestleMania, boom, he's back. And,
first thing, like right after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So that would have been... I know it's good. I'm glad he's back, though. We'll get into that a little later. We'll break it down a little further now. That was the big news of the past 7 days. But let's kind of go back. It's been a weird 3 weeks. We'll say that since we last spoke.
Yeah, 3 weeks. My goodness.
And I thought this was going to be the weirdest thing that we were going to talk about, and it kind of still is. The Hulk Hogan biopic starring Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth.
Like, I'm giggling because it's just so ridiculous.
And at the same time, I want to see it now.
Oh, of course.
Because Chris Hemsworth is self-aware enough. He could literally probably pull this off.
Yeah,
and he can pull off the Hulk Hogan physique. I just want to see Thor with the Hulk Hogan skullet.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be great.
Well, remember, it's going to be in the 80s, so he still kind of had hair, so it just thinning a bit. But what do you actually think of the decision that just popped up that they're going to make a biopic of Hogan in the 80s?
I've always I've always assumed that, much like the Vince McMahon biopic, I always assumed there was going to be a Hulk Hogan biopic.
I personally think that we won't get that Vince McMahon one, because I think this might be the one that takes its place.
There will be one day. There will be a Vince McMahon biopic one day. I'm just saying.
But the one that was rumored for a long time.
No, not that, but like an actual. I think there will be an actual Vince McMahon biopic one day, Because literally, can you think of a better subject for a biopic?
Yeah, true. But though, as excited as I am just to see Chris Hemsworth deal with this and who they get cast to play like these classic WWE characters, there's the cynic in me that's thinking like this is all this is just a big fluff PR stunt to get the public back on the Hogan bandwagon, just to paint him in a better light than what he's done previously, or recently rather. And it's not going to delve into any of his backstage politicking and all the crappy things that he did, even without the racial slander scandal that just happened a couple years ago.
Actually, I watched the documentary on that whole trial thing and stuff, and how it's an interesting watch. There would always be a Hulk Hogan biopic, and Hogan's involved, Bischoff is involved as executive. We know it's going to be a fluff piece. It's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When I heard that Bischoff was especially in it, I was like, oh yeah, this is.
But if it's
this is nothing to worry about.
If it's going to be a fluff piece, just go over the top with it. Just go crazy.
Yeah, do you think it'll be kayfabe?
I hope so. I kind of hope so.
Oh my god! Can you imagine?
I just keep picturing Thor trying to do the Hulk Hogan impression. It's gonna be great, and it's gonna be on Netflix apparently. So, so everybody can watch it. I'm curious to see who will play Vince McMahon in this one.
Well, if it's true, Bradley Cooper is also a producer on this, so I would assume if the rumors are true that he was supposed to play Vince McMahon. So why not just have him just pop up a couple times?
Sure, let's have a whole cinematic universe just based off. How about that? Take that, Marvel.
Hell yeah!
Take that, amazing. 80s WWE cinematic universe.
Yeah, I'd be down. That'd be amazing.
We'll get a Macho Man biopic. Oh man. Anyway, I thought that was going to be the most ridiculous thing, but then Raw happened last night.
Oh God!
It's before we get into others. Just a quick note. We'll touch on it later. I don't know what it is. We talked about this last 3 weeks ago. What is with Raw and having problems with the Go Home show? This week it was completely mistimed.
Yeah.
It's like we complained about it last show. We're going to complain about it again this show. Like, what is it with the the Go Home shows? You're supposed to be selling the pay-per-view. This is why I think the Fastlane should be just kind of wiped off the schedule and just go back to the old 7 weeks of WrestleMania build.
Yep, I agree.
All right, moving on. Last week, which sparked your thing about the weekly show, is the WWE releases. So we officially got confirmation on the 2 that were expected: Hideo Itami and there's 4.
Roderick Strong.
No, Strong's still there. TJP was released. That was
a surprise. Yes. Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger. Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, he was officially TJP was released. Which was a surprise, a little bit, but
yeah, a little bit to the people who aren't in the know. I'm sure people who are following it, I think that he had a rep for it. The other one that I think was pretty crazy was Arn Anderson getting fired.
Yeah, the story's kind of wasn't. I think it came out yesterday why he was fired,
and it makes sense. I don't fault WWE on that one because that is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's not good. If that's pretty bad. So weird. People getting released before WrestleMania season.
Yeah, usually that should not happen. I mean, regardless, if they're not being used, then who cares?
I get Dillinger, but
yeah, like he's been a waste, or he's not a waste. He's been wasted this whole time since he's been called up, so it's better just
apparently he has to go back to NXT.
What do you mean he has to go back to NXT?
No, he asked to go back to.
Oh yeah. That I remember hearing.
So I'm expecting probably after the Super, probably sometime in May we'll expect the purge, just some streamlining and just getting the shows ready for Fox and stuff in the fall.
I hope so, because it really does need a cleaning, or at least a restructuring.
Just kind of a streamlining.
It needs it. Like the roster needs it, and if they're not going to add another show, they might as well,
because contracts are coming up and stuff like that. Yeah. So just kind of
they need to play around with what they got and who they got.
I was briefly going to talk AEW news, but they sprung some stuff on us yesterday. The second official AEW event Fight for the Fallen is July 13th, and they actually it wasn't on the show, but we discussed this after we went off the air. My concerns about AEW and they're actually going to a smaller arena. The arena they're booked for Fight for the Fallen is only about 5,000. So
nice.
It seems like they've read my mind and thought of my concerns of the kind of the hangover from Double or Nothing, which is in Vegas and sold out and in a like a hub of like it's a fly-in hub. So
yeah.
It's good that they're scaling back and not overplaying their hands and just kind of. I think they should follow the Ring of Honor path and just slowly build for like a year. Do the big shows like kind of take the UFC model. Do like a big show like in May for Memorial Day, and then do the one in September, and then do like a big end of the year one, kind of like a Starrcade type thing used to be in December. Just 3 big shows for your like first calendar year. I think that's what they.
Well, it shows that they know what they're doing, because I mean, yeah, we voiced our concerns. If they heard these concerns or not is irrelevant, because they're doing what they think is best, and that's exactly what we want. So we don't want them to burn out anytime soon, or that magic to go away. So it's really smart of them. So yeah, I'm glad that they're doing what we hope that they were going to do.
And just some Double or Nothing news. Just it's actually going to be the first ever sensory inclusive event for professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty cool. AEW is kind of gaining reputation for being all-inclusive type things, because they have an openly gay man on their roster, they have a transgendered wrestler, and then they're also catering to the fans that love wrestling, but they have like dealing towards the autistic side and things, and they're giving out these packs with no canceling headphones and like stuff like that, and it's pretty cool. And
okay, I didn't hear about that stuff.
It sounds like it's going to be a theme for ongoing AEW events, being sensory inclusive.
Sweet, good for them.
That's just that was talked about on last week's edition of the Road to Double or Nothing. Brandy Rhodes.
Oh, okay.
Brandy Rhodes unveiled that thing. It's actually a pretty cool initiative. Like I don't know anybody with autism, but I know there's probably a lot of wrestling fans that have like those kind of issues, and for them to actually be included in like and be able to go to an event like these is pretty cool. All right,
good for them.
Yeah. All right, that's all the news I have. So let's move on to Fastlane, and of course tonight on the show they added 2 more matches. So let's talk about those first. Officially set for the pre-show: Rey Mysterio versus Andrade.
Oh, come on, man! Like.
No, this is a good match for the pre-show. It will get the.
It's a good match for the pre-show, but this deserves a way better.
It does, but
slot for them. Like, come on, they've been killing it, and now like they've been off for a couple weeks, and now they're back, and they're just putting it in the pre-show. Like, come on, guys, hold off, let them do this at Mania. But
well, especially with Samoa Joe winning the U.S. title, I think they're setting up the multi-man for the U.S. title at Mania.
Yep, but thankfully, Joe has a belt finally in WWE.
Spotfest.
He's finally gonna have a Mania match, so I'm stoked for him.
It's good this one's on the pre-show just because it's Fastlane. This is not a very hyped car. It's not a very hyped. This is clearly it's one of those. It's the shoehorned in on the road to WrestleMania type thing. So
yeah,
the crowd.
We said before many times there is no need.
The crowd could be a little iffy, so putting them on the pre-show to get the crowd a little amped up for the show probably for the best. Let's picks. This one can go either way.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Andrade.
What's their series?
Because he ate the pin this SmackDown, so I think he probably needs it a little bit more. And I think that's just the smarter way to go. Put this guy over a little bit.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Andrade, but it's like I'm basically 50-50 for most of this match. This is just it's shoehorned in there, so I haven't really had a chance to sit back and kind of think about it.
Yeah, think exactly. Yeah, I just saw the update on Twitter, so I was like, oh, okay, that's a match. So,
so I'm leaning towards Andrade for that one. So I'll go with Andrade. And then the next one, which was apparently announced this afternoon, which I didn't even check because I only saw it on the SmackDown. Triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team titles. The Revival defend against Gable and Rude and Ricochet and Aleister Black.
What the hell? That's news to me.
Exactly.
That is going to be an awesome match.
Yes.
Like, no doubt.
Yes.
Is that a pre-show match, or is that...
They haven't announced it for the pre-show, but considering there's only 8 matches on the card, if you include the one pre-show match, so it's either going to be the...
Open?
It's going to open, or it's going to be one of the cool-down before the main event.
Oof. Yeah, because if it's a cool-down, then they're not going to let any of those guys do anything cool to steal any of the thunder for the main events.
Probably for the best, hopefully. Honestly, the match we're going to talk about next, I think this is going to be the cool-down match, unfortunately, but let's continue on with the Raw Tag Team Triple Threat. Another one of those things where I haven't really had a chance to sit and process.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
they've
clearly
been booking this pay-per-view on the fly for like a week,
2 weeks at least.
It's
so
ridiculous.
Well, we'll stick with the Revival.
Yeah, it's a safe bet. Can't give it to Black and Ricochet yet because they're still in the Dusty Rhodes Classic. I think that's the only reason why they're even a tag team on Raw. It's just because of that, and with Ciampa's injury, you got to keep him off TV.
Yeah, but I'm sticking with the Revival. Kind of got to keep them happy.
Yeah, because they've been losing a lot, but I'm sure they don't care.
No, it's not that I'm just saying they asked for the release about 6 weeks ago. You kind of want to keep them happy and just not throw a belt on them and hope they don't leave. So yeah.
But again, they've been losing a lot. They need at least a high profile win. This could be that one, and like I said, that'll keep them happy.
All right, so let's move on to the actual main card, the last stop on the road to WrestleMania. And still a card of WrestleMania that is very much in question, but let's start with the SmackDown Women's title match. The match, I think, will be the cool down before the main event, unfortunately, because there's literally no build to this other than that segment about 3 weeks ago and whatever happened tonight. So, Asuka versus Mandy Rose. What are they doing with this?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of scared of this one. Just because they're booking this match and they haven't done anything with Asuka since the Rumble, and I don't know. I don't want Asuka to lose, but it just feels like it could be something like that. But I'm not confident they'll actually pull the trigger on Mandy just yet.
There's rarely title changes, not counting Goldberg a couple of years. There's rarely title changes on this card.
Yeah, rarely. But again, there could be that thing. Oh yeah, we got to do something because everybody else is kind of set in stone right now. We can't really change. Let's pull a fast one on everybody and get some buzz going. Get those marks all riled up.
We'll get into it in a little bit, but I'm going with Asuka. Clearly, they have something in mind for her to do at WrestleMania. I hope it's not. I've gone from I think to I hope.
Yeah, I hope.
It's we'll get into it later, but I got Asuka. I don't think this will be a long match. I think this will be more of a, here's Asuka. Oh, yeah, Asuka exists.
Yeah, I'm going for Asuka, too, just because I hope she does, because I really don't want Mandy to take the belt from her, specifically. Not so much that I don't want her to take the belt eventually, just right now, no.
She, more of a summertime thing.
But again, like, who do you see? That's another part of the thing where, like, going into WrestleMania, who do you get to face Asuka? Because really, the women's.
I keep hearing Lacey Evans. We'll get it. Like I said, this is a discussion for another day. We're discussing Fastlane, which shouldn't exist, but still does.
Yeah, we'll go with Asuka, and we'll figure out who she faces later on. But yeah, I am hoping to God Asuka wins, just annihilates Mandy, and
like I said, this is
strong.
This is clearly set up to be the cool down match, so it's going to be a squash, it seems. Anyway, let's move on to the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. The Hug and Boss Connection defend their titles for the first time against the Raw Tag Team of Nia Jax and Tamina. Let's discuss this. Another one of those.
This was a tough one.
It's a 50-50 booking feud.
Yeah, big time.
So 50-50
especially
booking.
with my pick not holding out last month. Like, do you take the belts off just so that they have a story going into WrestleMania, or do you keep him safe and keep the champion strong, and they do the nostalgia act at Mania instead?
I think they do the nostalgia act at Mania instead, because I specifically say this because what happened at NXT next week, or last week, I'm looking into the future, apparently, because Bayley and Sasha showed up to NXT and said they will defend titles against NXT teams, and it was announced late last week, not announced officially, but it's been almost basically confirmed that there will be a NXT TakeOver in June on its own. Like, it's its own separate event. There's no pay-per-view attached to it. And it is in San Jose, which is the event, the home of their first ever live show that took place outside of Florida.
Yeah.
So I assume that they'll at least keep the titles around them till around June, just so they can main event that NXT card against, I'm assuming, probably the Sky Pirates of Io Shirai and Kairi Sane or something like that.
Yeah, that'll be a fun match.
Just that's because that's kind of the way, because Money in the Bank is earlier this year. It's been moved to May, so it's going to be a separate own NXT Takeover card, unaffiliated with any other pay per view. So, and Bayley's from San Jose, so
yeah,
got to sell tickets. So I assume the Hug and Boss Connection is going to go over this one.
I hope so.
Move on to whatever nostalgia act. It's either going to be the Bellas or it's going to be Trish and Lita.
I hope to God it's Trish and Lita.
Well,
I really hope it is, because I think that's just more of a thank you to Bayley and Sasha for doing such good work. Like, I'm sure that's what they want, is to want to face those two and actually put on some great stuff.
And they did tease Sasha versus Trish at last year's Royal Rumble briefly. So that's a match that I would pay to see.
Definitely. And see Sasha almost break her neck all over again.
I assume we're going to agree on a lot of things, because I think we figured out, we know what the WrestleMania card is going to be, but clearly we still have to do this because we've committed to breaking down this show. So our picks will probably be similar, just because you go off the board and always seem to lose by one the last two. So let's move on. So we both got the Boss and Hug connection?
Yep.
Okay, so let's move on to the SmackDown tag titles. The Usos versus McMiz.
This makes me sad.
Does it?
It does, because I booked myself, I arm dragged myself into a storyline that I wish could have happened, and of course, obviously, it just sped up its time itself. So I mean, I think this is going to be the breakup of the team, and then we'll get that match at Mania between those two, between Shane and The Miz. And again, another one of those.
You mean the breakup I've been calling for like 2 months?
Yeah, but I was calling for it like now, like the breakup, like they would lose the tag titles, lead it into later on or something like that. Take its time, let this team grow and build, and then when that eventual knife in the back happens, is a little bit more impactful. Now it's just like it's old hat.
I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't think it might not happen at the pay-per-view. I think it might happen on SmackDown after. Just drag it out a couple extra more days.
And then with all these tag teams that are popping up on SmackDown, they need to make room for these guys to get in, because I mean, now with the Hardys are back.
I was just going to bring that up. Clearly, I think we know who they're setting up for the Usos' opponent at WrestleMania. A seriously in shape Matt Hardy returned last week, and
his weird velvet tie-dye red shirt.
Yeah, he busted that out. Apparently, I forgot. I can't remember the name, but it sounds like he's gonna every week. It sounds like he might go through every one of his gimmicks that he's had over the last leading up to WrestleMania.
That's great.
I don't know if you saw my tweet from last week when Matt Hardy returned. Just imagine this feud. This would be a big. I would love to see this, like broken Matt Hardy versus Aleister Black.
Yeah, I saw that. That'd be actually pretty sick.
Like that just came. Like that would be amazing. Just so weird, but yet amazing. Because I think Aleister Black can play the perfect straight man for that feud. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be pretty sick.
So we got the Usos.
Got the Usos.
Bonus points. What will Shane McMahon jump off of?
Is there any kind of steps to this match?
No, he's just probably going to jump off of something to remind his monthly reminder that he is indeed a crazy person?
I think it's just going to be top rope to the announce tables. I don't think the set is made for him to jump off anything higher. And
I was hoping.
And kayfabe wise, there's no reason for him to jump off anything.
I was hoping he would follow the Usos' suggestion and jump off the Wrestlemania sign.
Yeah. That would be awesome, but I don't think it's worth it right now, especially for Fastlane of all times to do something. Fastlane is not the way to do it.
Well, he's a crazy person.
He's a crazy person.
You say
but
it's not the right time, but he's a crazy person. He doesn't
properly.
care. He doesn't care. He's a crazy person.
Well, I do. Like, do it when it's worth it. Like, who knows if anyone's even gonna watch this pay-per-view?
This is a man who gets winded walking down to the ring. He's out of breath every time he walks into the ring and tries.
Remember, he's the greatest wrestler in the world, right? So
well, he shouldn't get gassed on his way to the ring.
That's a lot of weight on his shoulders, John. He can't help it.
All right, let's move on to probably what is going to be the bane of our existence for the next little while. I put this specifically in the middle because I figured we were going to talk about it for a little bit. Becky versus Charlotte.
Oh, boy. Yeah, this one's going to take some time to go through.
How did they screw this up?
I know.
The money match.
It was
a foot tap and putt. They had the money match. We didn't care if they added Charlotte into the thing, but they've drug this out and made it convoluted, and I don't know what Ronda Rousey is doing on Twitter, and it's just, where do we begin? Where do you want to begin with this one? Becky won the Royal Rumble. She got suspended. She didn't get suspended anymore, so wouldn't that immediately put her back into the match? No, that doesn't make any sense. We'll have her compete to get back into the match that she automatically earned for winning the Royal Rumble.
And then on top of that,
so the Royal Rumble didn't mean anything.
The champion relinquishes the belt, then comes back the next week and is just given the belt back for just by demanding it back. And then she injures Becky's. She goes after Becky's arm, which she no-sells on SmackDown, and she still has a bum knee. And this has happened in the past 5 weeks.
I'm also getting tired of the bum knee storyline. Like, we know you're not hurt.
So am I. It's like, really? Who cares? Like, oh my God. Like, yeah, they have booked this. They've overbooked this thing to hell. And we're to the point where I'm just like, should I care anymore? Because I feel like I don't. Like, I'm reminded now, just looking at this whole feud, it's just like, it's that scene from The Simpsons when they go to the pet farm and they have those 3 little lambs. The first lamb is cute and they go, aw, that's Charlotte. The middle one is cuter, that's Ronda. So they go, aw, a little bit louder. And the third and final lamb is the cutest one of all, and that's Becky. And everyone goes, oh. And then the first lamb comes in and gets in the face of the third lamb, and then Homer just pie faces him out of the way. We don't give a shit about Charlotte now because she's just wasted. And now we're just feeling like, oh, who cares about the rest? It's so frustrating. I'm so angered about this. They had this thing teed up beautifully, and Ronda and Becky have been making it work with not even being on TV to make it work. Well, no, not like the last week with the Twitter thing. Like, everybody was very confused because Ronda's just like, oh, this isn't real. I can beat the shit out of her. And yeah, but it was compelling. It made me interested. It got a lot of people interested. They didn't even need to be on TV to make this interesting. That's my point. Like, Becky and Ronda have been doing all this stuff, and it's been working. Now they're just overbooking it and just making it a slog. And let's not forget, now Ronda Rousey is a heel and says we're all stupid. Oh, yeah. Come on. Son of a bitch. Money match. 1 foot putt. This is like the equivalent of striking out at a T-ball game. Oh, it's right there. Like, what are you guys doing? You had this teed up. We know Becky's going to win. That's the thing. We know Becky's going to win this match. Hopefully they can course correct this. Hopefully. This is why Fastlane shouldn't exist. Yeah. This is why. Because they could have dragged some of this stuff out a little bit longer. Like, it's fine Becky wasn't on. It'd be fine for, like, Becky not being on TV for, like, 2 or 3 weeks. It's fine with that. It'd be believable that she was actually suspended and the match that we all hoped for was in jeopardy, but she showed up on TV on both shows every week and just made it unrealistic that she was actually in danger of anything. And then there's Charlotte in all of this with her 2 white of teeth. Yeah, 2 white of teeth and just going to woo just to get the cheap heat. To be honest, you know what? It's kind of good that Ronda Rousey is leaving for a bit.
because I'm a little tired of like this whole thing. It's good that she's because there was like reports that she's growing frustrated with the WWE. It's like what?
But I think that's mostly just her. I think just her personality just doesn't mesh well with how this works, because with the UFC, you kind of in control of how your image looks, whereas in WWE, you're not in control. You got to play to the whims of Vince McMahon. No, regardless of how much he wants to protect her, if he believes that something's not working, he's going to change the narrative, and this is what has obviously happened.
I'm okay.
So I think her personality doesn't mesh well with how the WWE system works.
Going forward, I'm okay with her being the female Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
show up.
I think the past couple weeks she has probably done the best work, and this is the Ronda Rousey I think we all wanted to see when she came in last year. Just talk shit, talk a big game, back it up, beat shit, tear shit down, walk out, done.
So we know Becky's gonna win because this is pointless.
Well, yeah.
If she loses, where are they going to go to add her to? Like, it's like they've written themselves into a corner.
But again, they've written themselves in the corner so many times, and they just say fuck it and just change the narrative regardless. So I mean, like, there's three options they can go. Two of them are that Becky wins. One, she wins clean, which I don't think that's going to happen. The other one is if Ronda interferes and costs Charlotte the match because Ronda wants Becky in that match, and that gives a little bit more heat to Charlotte to go against Ronda. Or then the third one is that Charlotte wins, lull, and then they just do some weird booking thing to put Becky in the match, and then we're just like, what the fuck?
I mean, they've already negated the Royal Rumble.
Exactly. But the
Royal Rumble didn't matter.
Royal Rumble, what else are they going to negate? They can keep negating and keep negating. Like, the fact that Vince suspended Becky, and then all of a sudden, like, she's reinstated again by Stephanie. Like, well, why did you wait for so many weeks to do it? You could, if you wanted to do it, just do it right after Vince said it. Like, it's so exhausting.
They had an easy road to WrestleMania, and they fucked it up.
Oh my God!
So we figure Becky's gonna win.
We figure.
Anyway,
I'm hoping. I hope it's the most logical way, but the way WWE's been booking shit, and it's like.
Anyway, before we move on, I saw on Twitter after when we get to the main event how they changed that. Somebody pitched this might be the start of like the perfect way to write Vince McMahon out so he can go and do that, because I think we said last year we figured this is going to be like the last WrestleMania that Vince is heavily involved in. Mm-hmm. So I think this is the beginning of the start to push him out officially, or just write him out. Basically the children of Vince McMahon rebel because he's basically fucking all their plans up.
Well, like I said during the what was it, last one for Elimination Chamber, or McMahon Civil War, where it's the kids versus the old man, and trying to wrestle control out of Vince's hands because he's trying to push his own narrative against what the kids are definitely trying to do, which makes the most sense. It's crazy old man yelling at clouds kind of thing.
Corbin and friends take on the reunited Shield.
The mid-card of evil.
I like Corbin and friends. Corbin and pals.
Another one I don't care for.
It's this one's for the fans, because I think we all know that I'm leaning a little bit more towards Ambrose leaving, but
so am I. Like, I'm still thinking that's because they're saying it's still one last time for the Shield, but they're not mentioning anything about Ambrose on TV.
No.
So I'm thinking that it's just the kind of the speech that Roman made on Monday is kind of just the scapegoat to say like, oh yeah, this is going to happen, and
just get Roman back in the ring, just kind of shake off some of the rust and give the fans what they want. That's basically the equivalent of this match. But like I said at the beginning, we know why Roman Reigns is back. It's the road to WrestleMania. I don't know what he's going to be doing on the road to WrestleMania, but it's good that he's on the road to WrestleMania because people like him, and he does business.
Yeah, who'd have thunk it?
He is their top merch guy, so I think this is another easy pick. Clearly, the Shield is winning. Give the fans one last happy Shield moment.
I'm thinking, I'm going to say they're going to win, but there's also the off chance that Ambrose turns on the Shield again. but specifically just on Roman to open up Roman versus Ambrose at Mania. That's my only prediction for that.
Yeah, could happen. Like I said, this is clearly a match just for the fans. Give them what they want one last time. All right, we've blown through this.
Again, yeah, it's another easy layup kind of thing, and I think if that's the only shocking thing that's going to happen during this,
like this made more sense.
If nothing crazy is going to happen, I think that's going to be the craziest thing. It's just that Ambrose turns on the Shield again.
Yeah, this Fastlane made more sense when this was full brand split and the rosters weren't combined for these pay-per-views anymore.
Yeah,
because you could do a lot more on these shows with that. Now we're just doing some weird shit on the road to WrestleMania that doesn't make any sense. But speaking of shit that doesn't make any sense, but clearly makes sense in the long run, Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan. It was Kofi Kingston for a week versus Daniel Bryan. And then crazy old Vince McMahon stumbled out of his nap and changed the match on the fly. I'm happy Kevin Owens is back, but I figured he would be back for WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan. But looks like they're going full steam ahead with Kofi Mania heading into WrestleMania.
So since I didn't get to watch SmackDown, I just kept up on Twitter. Did the New Day show up at all?
No, they're in India. There's a huge WWE tryout in India, and they've sent the New Day over there.
Oh, okay, so there was no progression for Kofi this week.
Nope, just because Kevin
kept it with Owens and
Kevin Owens was shoehorned in there, so they had to build with the in-ring promo with Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan, and then quick throwaway match near the end, Owens versus Rowan, which ended in disqualification when Bryan and Rowan beat up Owens. Then Mustafa Ali came out to save Kevin Owens for some reason.
Oh, for God's sakes.
All right. Yet another layup match. Makes you wonder what Kevin Owens is going to be doing at WrestleMania now.
Yeah, what do you do? Because let's be honest, I'm a huge fan of Kevin Owens. I'm happy he's back. I'm happy he's getting a WWE championship because now it's kind of changing the whole thing for Mania. So I'm happy for everything that's gone on. It's just, I think it was a really weird way to make it happen. Again, that's the theme of this whole WrestleMania season, is that we're getting these matches that we always want, but they're telling it in such a weird way that kind of doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah, I assume it's going to be not Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania for the title.
I hope.
I think.
Knows?
Well, clearly that's what they're building towards.
Clearly, but again,
because the New Day,
don't know what's going on in the head of Vince McMahon at any given time.
Because clearly, last week, the New Day flipped out. Like Biggie and Xavier Woods flipped out when he was, but Kofi was he was just somber and more professional about it and stuff. So they're clearly building him up this week when they opened basically. Daniel Bryan was trying to speak, and the crowd was just chanting for Kofi. Clearly, they're building him up as the opponent, and it's basically going to be seems like it's going to be the feel-good match of the card for WrestleMania.
Yeah, that match deserves it because I remember when I spoke the last time because I wasn't really heavy on Kofi because I was more interested in having a Big E because I'm just giving some context right now. I was more into having Big E be that guy just because I want to see him do it. But ever since that whole gauntlet before Elimination Chamber, I'm on the Kofi bandwagon, like big time. Like I want to see him go hard and go a long way and maybe go all the way against Daniel Bryan. So I'm totally for this thing to happen. Having said that, where do they take it? Like, what are we going to see come after Fastlane?
That's a true surprise. That's one of the interesting ones. Like, I have two outcomes. I saw one. It's a good idea that I saw on Twitter that Sami Zayn cost Kevin Owens the WWE title because he's cleared to come back. That would be setting up a face Kevin Owens versus a heel Sami Zayn at Mania 1-on-1. The McMahons would feel because they relented on Lynch, so the McMahons would feel bad for Kofi and award him his rightful title shot that he earned at WrestleMania. And then the build could be because Bryan is all about saving the planet, and the New Day is basically all about excess. Like, they hawk merch, they throw out pancakes into the crowd and stuff. So technically, the New Day is the perfect foil. And so,
yeah.
And I also, it wouldn't surprise me if the WWE Championship turned into a triple threat at Mania. At Mania. Because it could,
I really hope not.
No, it wouldn't surprise me, but it keeps Kevin Owens in there. But it also allows Daniel Bryan not to. He can still escape strong, even in a loss. Like, Owens could eat the pin for Kofi or something, just by opportunity or something. But it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm more leaning towards the one-on-one main event.
Yeah, I want one-on-one. If we're already going to get the women's championship match as a triple threat, let's just keep that as the only triple threat. Because I think that would definitely take a lot of heat off of that match.
Because there's always a multi-man match for something.
Yeah, who knows? We're probably going to get a multi-man Intercontinental or U.S. or tag team.
I think the Intercontinental is going to be Lashley versus Balor, one-on-one. Because I think the multi-man match is going to be the U.S. title. Because that usually, one of those things opens up the show. Like I said, it's WrestleMania. We got lots of time before it and then a lot to break down. So, Brian? Clean sweep where we all agree on everything.
I know.
Because this card,
weird.
Because this card doesn't make any sense. My notes are done. We've been going about 45 minutes. You know what? Let's quickly talk about Batista.
Oh, yeah, baby.
What did you think of his return?
Oh, my God. Sheer brilliance. That was so freaking good. Absolutely loved it. And it makes me excited to see that match because I didn't know how they would pull it off, even if they were going to pull it off this year, and they just dropped it on us just perfectly.
Yeah,
like I think this is Triple H and Batista's baby. I don't think Vince is involved in this at all.
No,
this is just between those two, and with Triple H's booking genius, he is doing beautiful work. Especially his promo on Monday. Oh my God, that was incredible. The only thing I can say that was a shame was putting it into the reality that this is a real fight. Like, come on, we all know it's not, and you're kind of burying the rest of the performers on TV, saying that, oh yeah, they're not real. It's not a real fight that they're going. That's all fake. This one is real between me and Batista. Like, that's kind of a shitty way to go.
I like Hollywood Batista.
Oh, hell yeah.
I didn't show up because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm too busy making my movies. No, it was good. It was good because this match was up in the air for a long time.
Yeah. Because I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought it was maybe they're going to wait for next year when Triple H was all healed up.
Well, we all know Triple H is a machine super healer,
and I'm sure he can threaten his doctors to release him so that he can actually perform.
It was early November when he was hurt, so
it's still a pectoral tear that to get off that fast. That's John Cena level healing factor, man.
Yeah, but Triple H is a beast. No, it was really. I'm excited to see where they go with this one because
big time.
Because I had written it off this year's WrestleMania, so the fact that they are able to cram this in is quite exciting. That will continue on Monday.
Yeah, I guess they do it in a face-to-face on Monday, I heard.
I guess so. I only worry because this has the shades of Sting coming into the WWE a little bit, where he just it's leading to where it's going to be run-ins galore because DX is
inducted. Yeah,
this is a segue into. Let's talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame. I don't like talking about the Hall of Fame because I don't really watch the Hall of Fame. So who do we got? We got DX,
Honky
Tonk Man, and Tori Wilson.
With the potential of
more coming.
Taz getting entered later on, which is shocking in itself.
Heart Foundation still rumored.
Yeah, we'll see about that one.
Bam Bam Bigelow's still rumored.
Was Vader in last year?
No, he's not. He's still
not in yet. Yeah, maybe Vader might be one, or maybe we'll save that for maybe next year.
I don't, like I said, I'm not. I didn't. That's why I didn't cover it in the news thing that we did.
I would say Bam Bam has a bigger chance just because he's from New Jersey.
Yeah,
and it's New York, New Jersey this year at Mania. So that's why you get Taz and you get Bam Bam. So you get some hometown heroes getting the rub.
Yeah, I'm not a big proponent. I know why they do it, but it's to get people signed to legend contracts, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, DX is going in. I think that's the highlight. I'm surprised Billy Gunn's showing up to this a little bit. I'm assuming most people that like listening to the Bucks and Kenny Omega, they said they were completely professional about everything. So I don't think they're letting Billy Gunn go is fine. He's not going to ruffle any feathers or anything. It's more to celebrate DX and China going in finally and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's another one of those events that's just for the fans, even though I don't personally care.
I'm not watching it. No, I can't, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I'll watch the highlights, maybe some of the speeches that they'll probably play later on. So, and I want to see if anything, I might just tune in just to watch the DX get entered, just so I can see what the packages come in and what they say and talk about China at least.
Oh yeah, they're probably going to talk about China.
Yeah, that's the only reason I will actually watch is just to hear what they say. Because if I don't know if maybe some of the listeners know, but I'm a huge DX fan since day one. I met China, X-Pac, and Road Dogg on my 13th birthday. This very same day, I bought my first tickets to a WWE live event. So DX is ingrained in my DNA, and I can never say anything bad about China because she was a very nice lady when I met her. And so, yeah, I'm super stoked for her getting into the Hall of Fame. And it's DX. I love DX.
What else? I don't think there's anything else we can go over a little bit.
You can always just bitch about Ronda and Becky Lynch again. Okay, so how about this? So this whole big thing with Twitter over the weekend, do you think that was a work, or do you think it was a shoot?
On Becky's part, it was completely a work because she's staying in character. Every time Ronda tweeted out, it sounded like she was having a mental breakdown, not seeming what's real and what's fake. Because clearly Becky Lynch is clearly like wink, wink. I'm in your head. Blah blah blah. Doing what Becky Lynch has been doing since fucking SummerSlam. From everything I've heard ever about Ronda Rousey, is she's not very personal, a nice person in real life. She's very to herself. Like, I've heard these since her UFC days.
I hear that she's to herself. I don't know if maybe she's not the most sociable person. I wouldn't say that she's a mean-spirited person. Maybe she's just...
No, I've heard that she is mean-spirited.
She's just a typical nerd. She just kind of keeps to herself, doesn't really want to shake the boat. She kind of has that sensitivity where, she may take certain things the wrong way and think it's a personal attack just because she doesn't get those kinds of social cues.
I've also heard stories that she is very mean-spirited to people.
Wow. But I wonder if she's mean-spirited to competitors.
I don't know. Anyway, this has been a mess, but I think takes things too personally sometimes.
Yep. Well, like I said before, I think that's why she doesn't mesh well with how it works in the WWE, because she has to work on the whims of Vince McMahon, plus have to make that balancing act along with the fans to get the story across. And I think she takes those boos, like literally she took those boos at a Survivor Series personally, and she just couldn't handle how it all works instead of taking it in the stride and working around it. Again, not 100% her fault. And again, I don't think that she is the heel in this story. I don't think she should be. But I think they saw this opening. They had to pull the trigger to make this work. But again, I don't see the reason why the fans are booing her, except for the smarks that just want to boo her just because they love Becky so much. I don't agree with it, but that's why, and they have the right to do so.
Yeah, my always problem with Rousey in the WWE is her characterization. Because she came from the UFC where she was this legit badass. She was just laser focused, and she comes out smiling every week and stuff. What irked me the most was the day after Survivor Series where Charlotte beat the shit out of her with a kendo stick. Next day, does she come out selling anything? No. Just comes out smiling and waving and sell. Also, the way she sells good in the matches, but they portray her this as unstoppable monster when she's not. Because everybody who knows she's been defeated before, and pretty brutally. She has both of her, like, it was highlight-worthy knockouts both times she lost. So her aura of being this badass, undefeated person shouldn't be there. And her coming and smiling to wrestling every single show shouldn't be there. She's a fucking badass.
Yeah. And that's what I meant with...
She needs
she's doing her best work the past couple weeks because she is that monster, take no prisoners attitude right now. Like, she's doing her best promos. She's doing her best foot forward for this match.
I've always stated she needed somebody to talk for her. She needed a promo person, and just let her stand there and just glare angrily. Have her be the female Brock Lesnar. We're okay with her being the female Brock Lesnar.
We all expected her to be the female Brock Lesnar.
We don't expect her to come out and stumble over a promo and go on this nonsensical rant that we're all confused of what the hell she's trying to say.
Yeah.
And then she goes out. She goes out to the crowd and just smiles and waves like, "Who is this person?" And then her work on Twitter, when clearly Becky's trying to keep kayfabe going, even though we all know it's fake. And then Ronda just fucking stomps all over that. No, I'm gonna use your real name and say this is all fake and that armbar sucks. And what are you doing? You're trying to sell pay-per-views.
On the side of that, it was Ronda also working it, but putting that little extra personal stamp on there just to make it feel a little bit real. I'm not 100% convinced it's a shoot. I'm pretty sure it's almost like a work shoot. They discussed it before to say, like, hey, say this. I'm going to say something like this, something along those lines. But again, I don't think they ran it through the executives to get that language approved.
No.
I think that's the only thing that was real was the language.
And then Rousey gets
because they have kids that follow these people.
It's rated PG.
Sure the WWE doesn't want them saying shit and
it's PG
and having dick and all kind of stuff in there.
This is a PG product.
Yeah,
been that way.
And they went kind of they went into business for themselves, if you want to put that kind of terminology in.
Yeah.
But like I'm positive it's still a work because they still wouldn't have. If you have Ronda telling Becky and Charlotte, hit me as hard as you can with that crutch or with that kendo stick. Really sell that stuff. It's not there's no animosity. They're not working themselves into a shoot.
Really sell that stuff, then come out the next night pretending nothing happened.
Yeah,
but I think because when she came into this, a lot of the smarks had she's just here for the money and she's leaving after a year.
And then she admitted that's what she was doing.
And that
last week.
Yeah, on her blog, I don't need the WWE. Like, stop! What are you doing?
And she even said oh no, I can leave this place whenever I want. Like, shut up, Ronda.
Why do we need to be
making you say these things?
Why do we need to be invested in this match anymore? Because you're clearly foot's out the door. They don't turn this into a Goldberg Brock Lesnar match from WrestleMania 20 where everybody just boos for the entire 20 minutes, and then you have to have Stone Cold stunner everybody. This clearly Vince McMahon's hands are all over this one.
Oh my God, yes, and that's where I came in. This thing is just getting overbooked. They could have just kept this simple and easy.
Let's have our big Raw segment end 4 minutes before the top of the hour and force Stephanie McMahon to come up with a promo for 4 minutes. Are you mad?
Oh, another thing that annoyed me was at the end of Raw, like they had all that stuff happen with Ronda beating up on Becky, and then they go to the Gorilla and they have an interview with Stephanie pretty much explaining everything that just happened.
Yep.
Like, they could have just ended Raw out with that. They didn't need Stephanie to explain everything and to give you kind of like an epilogue of what's going to happen.
They clearly ran short, though.
It doesn't matter.
And then they go back to Ronda Rousey.
Shown the continued beatdown because they put that on WWE.com.
And then they cut back after Stephanie recaps what just happened and then have Ronda posing on the turnbuckle with the belt pointing at the WrestleMania side.
Ugh.
Head to the table. Head to the table. Head to the table.
I think maybe she was trolling the fans on that one.
I don't know anymore.
I'm
almost at the point to give up on this
let's be honest, though. We're still excited to see what they do at Mania.
I'm excited to see how they course correct this because they're clearly setting this up for the fan backlash against this whole thing. As if it goes like this way currently now, the fans are not going to care. And if this goes on last, this is Roman Reigns winning in Dallas all over again.
It's getting to the point where everyone could shit on this thing. Like, regardless if Becky wins or not, they may just shit all over this thing because they've booked this thing to death, and no one will care. It may even lose that main event slot just because maybe from now until Mania, maybe the fans just shit all over everything. They don't Becky won't get those reactions. Charlotte won't get those reactions. Ronda doesn't.
Well, Becky will get the reactions.
Who knows? Who literally knows what's going to happen between now and then? What if they shit the booking for it, and then the Becky kind of loses a little bit of that reaction, and then Vince loses faith. It can happen. It's happened before. It just makes me nervous. As a fan of this stuff, I want to see this stuff succeed, but it's a WWE. It's Vince McMahon still in charge. It doesn't give me a lot of hope.
I'm waiting to see how they course correct this one. Hopefully they can. I think that's enough of that. The show's over. That's all we need to know. The show's over. Luckily, this is the last stop before WrestleMania.
Then we just got to go for 3 weeks trying to. Hopefully, they course correct and make this thing. Hopefully. Make Mania happen properly.
3 more weeks.
3 more weeks.
That's all we have to get through.
Speaking of stuff in the future, SummerSlam tickets next week.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe in 2 weeks.
15th they go on.
15th, baby.
Public sale. You can buy the packages, which
yes.
I'm not dropping $2,000.
It's pretty much my mortgage fee, so I'm going to be skipping on the packages this time.
I'm not dropping $2,000 to go to all the shows.
Yeah.
There's only a couple shows that I want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's next Friday, the 15th.
Yep, I'm trying to get my crew together. I think you're going to be part of my crew.
I gotta see if my friend wants to go too.
Yeah, because I think you can only do 4 tickets. That's only for the packages. But I mean, I wonder if you can buy more than 4 through the individual tickets.
Who knows?
Because yeah, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah,
do that all together.
Anyway. Let's wrap this up. Wasting Your Time podcast on Spotify and Google Podcasts. Also, iTunes. We're still on. Can't forget about iTunes. Please rate, and subscribe, whatever that thing is. Just like our show. Please like us.
Yes, please. We're desperate.
Also, like I said at the top of the show, this is one of 2 episodes that we're releasing whenever this comes out. Friday. So go check out the all-female show in celebration of International Women's Day. They basically, Ellie and Amanda just list their top 5 favorite fictional female badass characters. Yeah, I just sat there and listened for an hour. I think I said about probably 20 words the entire show. I was just there listening, basically acting as a producer. They did fantastic. Still waiting on word on the Calgary Expo panel. Hopefully, I think panel submissions ended March 1st, so hopefully by the end of the week we might hear something.
Don't worry, I haven't heard about my Artist Alley table yet.
Well, that's even better, and the show is 6 weeks out.
Yeah, that's it's par for the course. So they also, I'm going to do my plugs. You can also catch this episode and all future episodes of Wasting Your Time, the wrestling edition version, on my YouTube channel. I'm at 40 subscribers right now, and I want to get to 100 so I can have a proper URL link. So it can be like youtube.com/radpencil. So if you enjoy what we're doing, but you can only get it through YouTube, you go to find my YouTube channel. You can find it going to radpencils.com. Have all my links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube channel. So you can get all my content through radpencils.com.
So the next time you will hear us will be...
It'll be for the big one, baby.
Will be... Hold on. Let me get the calendar out. Will be Friday, April 5th. That is when we will be releasing our Wrestlemania episode. Trying to get the Southern wrestling fans.
Did not Starcade the way you just had that?
Trying to get
Southern growl.
Trying to get the Southern fans. What are you talking about? We're expanding our audience. It's our Wrestlemania episode.
I say, it's going Wrestlemania.
You know what? This one I don't mind going. If we go 2 hours, we go 2 hours.
Yeah, I think we might have to because there'll be a lot.
The nice thing about
the
nice thing about WrestleMania is the card is locked in basically almost a week before. So even if we did this super early, I have plenty of time to edit.
Yeah, big time.
It will be released Friday, April 5th.
April 5th, everybody. April 5th.
And if it's done earlier, maybe April 4th.
Yeah, because anybody who's going to Mania, you guys want to hear what we have to say well in advance, and maybe
because we're also
taking it on the plane, you can listen to it on your way there.
Because we're also talking NXT, and NXT is the Friday night. So,
and then we're probably also going to talk about the Super Card of Honor with New Japan and Ring of Honor.
Yeah, the Madison Square Garden show.
Yeah, it'll be an extra large, extra sized edition. I'm assuming
we'll forego the news and we will kick it off with NXT and Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
we will preview those.
If things work out, we will probably do a special edition episode where we kind of predict the Superstar Shakeup that's going to be happening, I think, the week after in Montreal.
Oh, well, we were going to dedicate a show to that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So
even if it's a half hour long, we'll figure out a way.
You'll get 2 episodes in April. I'm making it happen, John.
Friday.
I'm saying it right now.
Friday, April 5th.
Front 2 believers.
Friday, April 5th. We will be releasing our WrestleMania episode.
Yeah, and then we'll give you guys the heads up on the Superstar Shakeup episode.
That too. Which is Montreal.
Woo.
Anyway, for the Wasting Your Time podcast, that has been Bobby Duke. I'm your host, John Wilson. We will see you Friday, April 5th.
Enjoy Fastlane.
Or don't.